with someone that isn't a wrestler? It could be an athlete, a cartoon character, a fictional character, movie actor, anybody. Who would it be
Oh
with?
my gosh, this is such a good question. any person ever. This is probably a weird, you know, just because it's in the back of my mind. Abraham Lincoln like used to wrestle, like pro wrestle. That would be so fun.
That's awesome.
Just wrestle. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. I don't. Yeah.
Right when you said, I was thinking like I was gonna say presidents, but I'm like,
yeah, the president. Yeah. Just take that top hat off. What are you?
Yeah.
Gonna promo on Abe Lincoln right now.
And how would you see that match going if it happened?
See, I'm well aware that he was a tall gentleman, so I don't think it would go very easy for me. But you know what? Maybe he'll have some PTSD from the theater, so we'll have that match there. I'll use that in my upper hand, you know. Do a suicide dive off of the booth.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You already play mind games with them. Nice.
I know.
And then like what was like take me back, like what was the first day of going to school of Hard Knocks? But like what was the whole experience like for you?
It was so terrifying. I was very, very nervous. Just to give like a little bit of like setting the scene, I after high school, I was set to go to this 4-year college, go study theater in New York, and I was super excited. But unfortunately, my family had to break to me once I got in, like, hey, we don't have money. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the way I was raised. I didn't have much money growing up. And I went to a community college, which isn't bad at all. But for me at the time, being told like you're never gonna make it anywhere if you don't go to 4 years, it was a lot for someone who had just graduated high school to go through that. So first semester college, good, dean's list, awesome. But I was so confused on where I was gonna go in my life. I did not know what path I was gonna take or what I was gonna do, because I found that doing theater and going to Los Angeles and being in movies or background was not something I was particularly happy doing. And I had to find what I was going to do. I started working. I dropped out for that year. Started working, just working to find what I would rather be doing. And this very busy little known chain restaurant, In-N-Out Burger, was taking up a lot of my time. So as I was there, whatever, cutting potatoes, I would always think like, what would I rather be doing? And so after reading that book and realizing like, hey, you know, I've been wrestling, I've been training, I've been doing combat sports basically my whole life. I love what is putting on a show and entertaining people. And I knew even when I wanted to even when I wanted to go to school to study acting or theater, my only goal in life was to take people out of their reality and distract them. Distract them for a second, for a microsecond, just take them out of their place. And I thought that was like the biggest thing I could do for the world as little of a person I am. And there's a million people, there's so many people on this planet, and the one little thing I could do is distract somebody with entertainment. And I found that concept to be super beautiful, and I still live by that. So when I found wrestling, that helped me as a kid just like escape reality, just pretend I'm some character that I'm not as a kid. And finally realizing like, hey, I could do this for somebody else, you know? As a kid, what even got me into theater was getting to see this play being put on by my local high school, and being in such a bad situation financially, and like in in these lower income communities, you got a lot of kids who really need that, who need a distraction, who need to just live their childhood lives. And it's really hard. So I would love to continue doing this and bringing people out of the reality, having people have some fun. I try to make it a point to high five every single person, whether they're an adult or a baby. I don't care because everybody there at least matters. Even for the hour and a half, you are watching this show, you are sitting here and you are having the time of your life, and that's beautiful to me. So yeah. That was so it was in a weird place when I first started, but in that college time, so I went to my first day and I was really nervous, really shy. I made a wonderful friend there the first day, who did help me and still helps me every day with my wrestling career and whatnot. But some days it was hard to just get out of my car and train, wrestling by no means is easy. Even if I did have that combat sports background, it was hard. And I thank my trainers and Jesse and my coach for having the patience that they did, because I could not bump. I could not bump, I could not talk, and I was trying to go. Some days I'd feel so overwhelmed I wanted to just run out of there. But I learned, and they showed me everything they could, and I'm very grateful. But it was really hard starting out. Really nervous.
When you had your first match ever, who did you face? What was that whole experience like for you to come out of the curtain for the first time? What was that whole experience like for you?
So my first match ever was during the pandemic. So I didn't have a crowd. It was live streamed on Twitch under Rocky Mountain Professional Wrestling. And it was against Lola the Adventurer. Or at the time, I believe it was Ola Lola, but it's Lola the Adventurer. And everybody loves her because she tries to embody Dora the Explorer. And she helped me in my first match. And I remember coming out to no crowd, but just some random music that I didn't choose, and just feeling the adrenaline. I feel like I had 2 debuts, one with a crowd and one on Twitch. But I was really excited, and she took very good care of me. We were, of course, both faces. And at one point I remember forgetting entirely what to do. And I instead of blanking, she looked at me, I looked at her, and I just shot on her and took her down. And then I was like, okay, what do we do? I'm kind of panicking. It was very early. I had only been continuously training for a couple months, and when I debuted, and I was like, I'm not ready for this. I need to train a little bit more. And they're like, no, you'll be fine. Just rely on your amateur wrestling if you get lost. And I was like, okay, perfect. And I hold that first experience near and dear to my heart. It was a lot of fun. And then the second time I got to do it with a crowd, it was a lot of fun.
If I were to ask you, wouldn't that you did join the Micromania tour? So first, how did that come about? You joining the tour, and what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, so their full name is the Micromania Midget Tour, and I wasn't asked initially to be on the tour. Just when I was in Colorado, they were performing at a nearby festival or music festival, and they needed a women's match. So I was asked to go, as well as Reagan Grimes was asked to go, and we put on a match for them. It was they have a hardcore. All of their matches are hardcore, so no rules, and it was really fun. Lots of trash cans being thrown, lots of wet floor sides. It was just a lot of fun. And so after meeting me, he's like, hey, how tall are you? I'm like, oh, I'm 4'8". And he's like, you know, you're like, legally, you can be considered a little person. I'm like, I'm a little person, but I'm not a little person. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a little person, not a little person. And he was like, no, yeah, well, just think about it. If you want to come on tour, we're gonna have these dates. I'll contact you. And he contacted me, told me like, we're gonna have a bunch of California days now that you're going back. Would you like to try it out for a couple weeks? I'm like, yeah, sure, of course. So I go on this tour and I meet these legends. I make these great friends. Octagoncito, of course, Suki Mini, Dylan Michaels, who is the son of Lord Littlebrook, and it's just crazy. These super talented people, and they took really good care of me. So I was really glad that I did end up doing it, and I didn't feel too out of place. But I will say I was the tallest of the smallest.
Do you have like a specific like favorite moment from that tour?
Oh, I will be going back on that tour because it was so much fun. But I think my favorite moment might have to be, we performed in Santa Cruz at the Catalyst, which is like a super crazy venue where a bunch of bands that I love have played or started at. And I was like, I'm performing at the Catalyst? That's crazy. So it was really, really packed, and I ended up seeing one of my old roommates there. But getting to go through the crowd and meeting all these people, it was a good moment for us. Another moment was we had a casino show in Northern California and Lakeport, I believe. Afterwards, we go, and I'm like, hey, we're all of age. Let's have a drink together, and we do, and there's nobody really there at the casino bar. And there's music playing, and we just all danced. We just had a good time, and just enjoyed each other's company, and being able to do that and make these friends and build these memories was really special to me. So I'm really glad I could make those friends.
But if someone's watching this and wants to become a professional wrestler, what advice would you give to someone that wants to be in this business?
I would say jump in head first. I think if you're going to do this, you have to be honest with yourself. If you have that much to give to this, then do it. Don't give yourself the excuses that you would for any other thing, because this business takes a lot out of you, especially when you're starting. Like I said, what we do is not easy by any means, and it could be a little stressful at times. So if you're gonna jump into wrestling, I say go for it, full on go for it, and be confident in yourself. So when you do go in there, you're confident, you're happy with your growth, because it takes people different amounts of time to succeed in, or to start wrestling, or to start performing and wrestling on a canvas. So I remember going to a seminar with D'Lo Brown, and him saying, what we do is art. That's why we wrestle on a canvas. So
yep.
That's what you do.
Oh, that's awesome. Again, thank you so much.